thanking our new subscribers and our returning subscribers for tuning in this channel where we learn about the land we all love. Now today, your wish is my command. Someone requested me I highlight all the people that offered their help to Jamaica. And I want to start by saying Jamaica has pulled people from all corners of the world to itself. All the people that assisted Jamaica were coming from different corners of the world, and this shows the love the world has for Jamaica. From east, from west, from north, from south, they all flocked in Jamaica to give their assistance. From small to average, to the rich, to the celebrities, to the big people in every country, they flocked in Jamaica to give their hand of support. And today, we are going to go down the list of the people that came to give their hand of help to the people of Jamaica. And I've told you that there are so many that I might not be able to mention all of them. And I want to say categorically, these are people that are outside Jamaica, because we have seen a lot of help within Jamaica, from celebrities, Usain Bolt, Sherry Ann Fraser Price, Sean Paul, Shaggy, Vibes Cartel, Sincere. All those celebrities came in large numbers to support their own, and they were donating a lot of stuff to the people of Jamaica. Apart from the people within Jamaica, and I can't forget, there is the Jamaican diaspora. And the Jamaican diaspora was giving their support through different organizations and through different people in Jamaica. Like we talked about Cora Smith, who was receiving money from different corners of the different people in diaspora who are Jamaicans. And also we have organizations like Jamaica Diaspora that were offering their support to their country in huge number of items and also in terms of money. So this video is categorical for those that donated their stuff who are not from Jamaica. Because the people that are from Jamaica, we have already featured most of them, and you know all of them that were giving within Jamaica. And don't forget the common Jamaica people who have been assisting to actually clear the debris and return their country back to glory. Before I go to the countries that assisted Jamaica and the organizations and the teams that came in to assist Jamaica, I want to highlight the speed at which, can I call them the risk team of Jamaica responded, was epic to me. And I think I'll have a video of the kind of response the risk team of Jamaica responded in. I saw the Jamaican power company. I also saw the Jamaica Fire company. I also saw different organizations coming to clear just the day after the Hurricane Melissa. This shows a lot of quick response to assist the people. Actually, the following day after the Hurricane Melissa, the different companies, the different organizations, the different government agents were on the streets to see how electricity can be restored and to ensure that the roads are passable and to ensure that there are no houses that have covered people. All that was being done in a very, very quick response. Now, without further ado, let me go to different countries and different teams and different organizations that came in handy to assist Jamaica during Hurricane, or rather after Hurricane Melissa. One of the countries that is very, very unique, and the country we have not featured anywhere in all my videos, is Belgium. Belgium sent 400 generators to Jamaica to ensure that the people of Jamaica did not stay in darkness. It was to assist the families and the hospitals so that the hospitals can function and so that the people that have been affected by Hurricane Melissa can get treatment without delay. So Belgium, a country that is so unique that most of you maybe were not expecting that Belgium was one of the countries that actually offered its support to Jamaica. Have a look at this video, then I'm going to come back.
Here's something you definitely did not expect. Belgium, a small country in Europe, is sending over 400 generators to Jamaica. This is perfect. Jamaica has to be one of the most loved Caribbean countries. But why Belgium? What's their connection to Jamaica? Let's break it down. After Hurricane Melissa knocked out power across several parishes, Jamaica made an international call for help through the European Union's Civil Protection Mechanism, and Belgium answered. Belgium is sending over 400 generators to Jamaica. The first batch of generators landed in Kingston on November 3rd, flown in by a Belgian Air Force A400M. The rest are on the way, bringing the total to 409 units. That's thousands of miles traveled just to help families and hospitals get electricity again. Who would have thought Belgium would be one of the first countries powering Jamaica's recovery? This island is so loved.
Now guys, this video is full of excitement because you cannot believe the different types of people from different corners of the world that came in aid of Jamaica during their trying time. And I want to tell you, a friend indeed is a friend in need. When you are in need, that is the time you can know a true friend. And different corners of the world showed their friendship and their love to Jamaica in a very big way. We have seen Belgium donated 400 generators to ensure that the people of Jamaica do not stay in darkness, and also the hospitals function so that the people of Jamaica can get medical care in time and also in good what? So that they can actually be catered for in the shortest time possible. The other country that I have not mentioned anywhere in my video is Israel. I want to tell you that every country was coming to Jamaica to offer their support. Israel sent their medical staff to help Jamaica in terms of those that were actually got accidents during Hurricane Melissa. And they sent their medical team, and we know that Israelites are actually have very good experts in terms of medical facilities, and therefore they took their expertise to Jamaica to assist in helping the people that were actually affected by Hurricane Melissa. Now, I don't know whether I'll get a video on the Israelites offering their support, but maybe have a look at this and then I'll come back.
Breaking news that is just coming out of Israel this hour, okay? And Jamaica, regarding to the hurricane that happened in Jamaica. Israel are sending 40 of their medical staff to help in Jamaica. And this have got a lot of people talking on social media. Why? A lot of people are saying because of this. You remember when Israeli doctors were being accused, their pathologists were being accused of harvesting organs of innocent patients within their care. Yes, you heard that right. So a lot of people are going on X, previously known as Twitter, and making complaint that Jamaicans should be very careful who they allow into their country to come and help them, because most of these Israeli doctors might actually be an agent, Mossad agent, coming to harvest the heart of their people in Jamaica. A lot of people are also pointing on to the fact that Israel have been accused before of putting contraceptive pill into medication food for Ethiopian women so that they won't be able to have children anymore. So people are warning that Israel is sending their medical staff to go to Jamaica to help them with their military, to their rescue operation due to their hurricane that happened there. They are warning the Jamaicans not to take any medicine that is being supplied by the Israelis. You heard that right. And they are also saying that if the Israelis care so much, about children and well-being, they won't be stopping thousands of aid or hundreds of aid that is heading towards the Gazan children. They're supposed to go feed the Gazan children, because we have seen a lot of medical practitioners being among the protesters that are actually stopping aid from getting into the Gazan children. So people are saying that why is it then that they are sending their medical person to Jamaica when the children in Gaza are being left to starve to death, which is diabolical in my honest opinion. But let me know what you think about this. Do you think they are innocent medical practitioners that should be allowed to do their job, or do you think you cannot trust the Israelis even if your life is on life support?
Now, let us go to the next country that offered their support to Jamaica. This is America, and I'm going to mention different groups of Americans that offered their support to the people of Jamaica. The first group is a group calling itself RA from United Navy, and it is calling itself Atlantic Armina. They brought relief direct from Louisiana in United States of America to Jamaica. Actually, this organization is calling itself ATATCO. ATATCO has 5 different employees in Louisiana and 300 employees who are from Jamaica. And I think this is an oil company, and they came in handy to show their solidarity and their support to the people of Jamaica. I've said that I'm going to mention the different countries and the different teams and the different individuals that came in handy to assist Jamaica. So I've told you that Americans were helping in terms of individuals and in terms of organization. America and Jamaica have a very cordial relationship, and there are so many Jamaican diasporas that live in America, and therefore Americans felt indebted to step in a very big way to assist Jamaica. So the next organization from America to offer their support to Jamaica was United States Army. United States Army delivered $15,000 worth of food to different communities in Jamaica. So they brought food, they brought water, and they brought other items that are required for the people of Jamaica to actually feel that there are people who are concerned about them. So we have the US Army, and we are going to look at the video about the kind of items they offered to Jamaica. Now, let us go. So we have covered ATATCO, an organization from Jamaica, and we have also talked about US Army, and I'm sure the US government also gave their support to the people of Jamaica. Let us come to individuals that were actually coming from America to assist Jamaica. We have seen that Jamaica is actually a very great tourist attraction center to the people from America, from UK, from Canada, from all over the world. And therefore, there are individuals, celebrities, who are from America that felt that they cannot fail to assist Jamaica. And one of the people that we featured in one of my videos is Sherika Richardson. And this is a gymnasia competitor, or rather a gymnasia what can we call her? Comment down below. So she offered her support in terms of $500,000 US to help the people that were affected by Hurricane Melissa. Apart from Richardson, there was this guy I called Therese Gibson. Actually, Gibson came to Jamaica, and actually his help was to touch the people in the areas that were most affected by Hurricane Melissa. So he didn't give his offer, or rather his support, to the government of Jamaica. He went individually, met the people, gave them his support, and the people of Jamaica were more than happy to receive the help from Therese. And actually, he actually cried with the people of Jamaica, prayed with them, and this was a great gesture on behalf of Therese Gibson. So have a look at Therese Gibson and his support to the people of Jamaica. Remember that Therese Gibson is a movie star, and he's also, I had mentioned about him, and I had said all what he does. He's a movie star and also a musician, I think. So this is the kind of help that Therese Gibson gave to the people of Jamaica.
If you know yours.
Sure.
Yeah. It's Barstow. It's a man named Tyrese in the brother. The father of viewers in the brother. Tyrese, but it's gonna be a Barstow. Yeah.
I'm not ready.
Can you finish it now?
So, you have seen for yourself, from America, we have different people that brought their assistance to the people of Jamaica. The other country that gave their support to the people of Jamaica was Salvador. Salvador actually was among the first countries that offered their support to Jamaica together with Venezuela. Jamaica received a lot of help from different corners of the world, and they are still receiving. So different countries are offering their support even up to today to the people of Jamaica. So we have Salvador, and I hope that I'm going to get a video of the Salvador giving their support to Jamaica together with Venezuela. So let us move to the next country. If I don't give a video on Salvador, I think I covered the help that Salvador gave to Jamaica in another video. Now, the other people that gave their support to Jamaica was the Chinese community. Chinese community in Jamaica came in handy to support the people that were affected by Hurricane Melissa. And these are the businessmen and different organizations that are Chinese-based that came in handy to assist in terms of food, in terms of water, in terms of medicine, and I'm sure they're going to assist in terms of construction of roads, construction of health facilities, construction of ports, construction of airports, all that. The Chinese community came in handy to assist the people of Jamaica. Have a look at this. Jamaica were Bahamas. We saw that Bahamas came in handy to bring medical facilities, water, food, and all the stuff that were required by the people of Jamaica. Maybe I can show you a video of the Bahamas, the kind of help they gave to the people of Jamaica. Gave to the people of Jamaica, and it was more than great to see a Caribbean country standing with their fellow Caribbean island when they are in disaster. Remember that there are several countries that were affected by Hurricane Melissa in Caribbean island. We have Cuba, we have Jamaica, we have Haiti, we have Dominican Republic, and therefore for Bahamas to come in aid to Jamaica, it was a great gesture because Bahamas must have stood with the other countries and also stood with Jamaica. The other country that offered their support to Jamaica was United Kingdom, that gave $2.5 million to the people of Jamaica. According to some people that I saw in the video, they were saying this is too retro for United Kingdom to offer to Jamaica, and yet United Kingdom has a history with Jamaica because they are actually the people that had colonized Jamaica, and they have been standing on behalf of Jamaica. The Queen has been a very great pillar to the people of Jamaica, and therefore UK, United Kingdom, came in handy to assist the people of Jamaica. And then we have India. The Indian people came in handy to donate their support to the people of Jamaica. They arrived in Jamaica to offer their support, to offer their love, to offer their soda for Jamaicans to cry on. So we have India. I don't know whether I have a video on India, but if I have a video, let me put it here.
This is to share with you that we have C-17 Indian aircraft, Indian Air Force plane, which has landed in Kingston today. It is carrying 20-ton weight of material, relief material, humanitarian aid and disaster relief material for Jamaica. The material is for immediate relief like shelter, sleeping bags, tents, mattresses, pillows. It is also carrying ECG machines, that is for measurement of medical trauma. It is also carrying 1,000 kilogram heavy unit of mobile medical trauma unit, which is comprising of 72 boxes. Each box is carrying medical equipment, which is very high tech. This can be mobilized and taken to the affected area immediately through either road, through air, helicopters, or even through boats. It can be, it's like a very big hospital compacted into 72 boxes. It has got, for example, intensive care and even surgery related equipment and medicines and kits which can help treat people and also supply them medicines and other things. In addition to that, a team of 4 medical experts have also arrived in Jamaica with this flight. They will be training the medical team, paramedics and doctors of Jamaica how to handle this special medical trauma unit.
So this is the kind of support that India gave to the people of Jamaica. Then I saw one individual, I'm not sure whether this guy is a Jamaican or this guy is from another country, but he's called Mavado. Mavado, it was very emotional to see Mavado donating to the people of Jamaica care packages so that the people of Jamaica do not go on uncatered for. And therefore, we congratulate Mavado for his support to the people of Jamaica. I cannot be able to exhaust all the countries that stood with Jamaica in one way or another. We have Ghana, that is one of the countries that I have seen from Africa that stood with the people of Jamaica. I'm sure there are so many Africans that stood with the people of Jamaica individually. But because I cannot be able to catch them, to have a video on them, I can say that Africa, in terms of individual, they have stood with the people of Jamaica, and we really appreciate different groups that have stood with our brothers and sisters in Jamaica in times of their need. We really appreciate you, and we thank you so, so much. I hope every Jamaican that has been affected by Hurricane Marisa has already gotten help, because there were some complaints here and there that people are not getting help. But I'm sure by now, all the people that were affected by Hurricane Marisa have gotten their help, because I've seen different teams coming to assist in the distribution of the different materials that are being given to the people of Jamaica, so that they can reach the people faster. Remember that some areas were so affected that there were no roads to go to those areas. But I hope by now there have been access to different areas that were affected by Hurricane Marisa, and all the Jamaicans that were affected by Hurricane Marisa have gotten help in terms of medicine, in terms of medical care, in terms of food, in terms of water, in terms of shelter, so that our sisters and brothers in Jamaica can be comfortable. We stand with you. We are still praying for you that you may soon recover from this disaster, and we see the positivity and the great people of Jamaica that we know. Thank you once again for watching us. See you during the next video. Bye-bye, and God bless.